Once again, give it up for Legasse. Woo!
Imagine you're sitting in a room in elementary school, in a corner, working by yourself. There's nobody around you to understand you or, even talk to you in that sense. You're kind of just there existing. You try to interact with others and maybe they bully you sometimes and you're just not understanding what's happening. This is the reality of many autistic individuals in the US today, in the school systems, and their very life in general. My name is Legasse Remon. At 7 years old, I was diagnosed with Asperger's, which is a form of autism. Approximately 80% of autistic individuals in the US are unemployed, and there are roughly 2% of all Americans in the US are also diagnosed with autism of some form. It's crazy to think how sometimes people generalize and say, if you're autistic, you can't really go to college, or you can't really have a career. I'm here today to share with you my story about my success and how I was able to overcome many obstacles and get to the place that I am today. So I grew up in a town in Holiday, Florida, in a very rough sort of neighborhood. I attended various different schools because schools didn't really want to have or take autistic children in particular or want to support them that much in my area. I remember my parents, they would say, you have my child, he has a lot of energy, he's very sporadic, he's very fidgety and sort of thing, and nobody really knew at the time what that really meant or what that meant for the educational system. I later was able to, develop some friends along the way and be able to have somewhat of a interaction with the community around me, and I felt somewhat welcomed in that sense. It wouldn't only be until later that, I had developed a lot of friends over the course of elementary, middle school, and high school, but I still had my social and societal, indifferences with people. I was one of those people that didn't really want to interact with anyone, and I also didn't really know what I wanted to do for my career. Some of the choices that I had to make throughout my career were very rough. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do at first, nor did I know if I was even, able to go to college in that sort of sense. Many people, doubted me. Physicians said, maybe he's not right to have a career. Maybe he should just stay home. Maybe he's not the right, individual for this sort of path that he wants to take. If you're regarded as different, I want to say that you should embrace yourself to the fullest. I had a hard time taking tests. I had a lot of anxiety growing up, and I was trying to hold up standards for overachievers that I simply wasn't capable of in my current circumstances. I never did math, English, or things like other people. I didn't sit and read books, read millions of books, and watch a lot of videos. Most of the time, I practiced a lot of different problems and used deductive reasoning and pattern recognitions that I recognize as a form of patterns for me to be able to understand problems in my own different form. I originally wanted to do criminology because I was very fascinated by Sherlock Holmes and deductive reasoning because I think it's a very important aspect of the way that I think and the way that I communicate my ideas. When I started my journey into recognizing this sort of logic, I started applying it and succeeding in computer science. I applied my computer science goals having, this knowledge of over 6 years when I started at 13 and took a career in computer science. I ended up majoring in computer science and being accepted into 3 universities in Florida, where I'm proud to say that I now attend the University of Florida. Now, what does this have to do with autism? Why does it matter here? What are these social indifferences important? And what are the issues that have led me to, succeed past these sort of issues in my career? It's quite humorous actually to think that in society sometimes it is often regarded that how does this person have autism? They're going to college, they're interacting with people, they're giving ideas to professors, they're going to parties, they're studying hard subjects. How is this possible? No way. Yes way. I'm an example of that. I knew what I wanted to do from a very young age because I was committed to computers ever since my dad started working on computers when he was younger. Did recruiters want this sort of person in their environment? Did they want an autistic person in their career? Were their eccentric ideas too much for them? I went to develop my sort of social skills along the way as I met people throughout high school, and I received that sort of support from a welcoming community through physicians, my parents, and therapists. I want to reference something by Jim Hogan that I often use, and it's called the Rubik's Cube analogy. The Rubik's Cube analogy is something similar in towards the process of ideas and how you logically break down them, similar towards engineering. Let me give you an example. Everyone has a destined sort of career path that they choose. It's broken down into subtopics on terms of what you want to study, your major, your preference of company, the success you want to achieve, and the areas of expertise that you want to be in. These are all components that can be broken down logically in terms, and you will eventually take one path. This sort of fundamental idea and logic for breaking down these sort of ideas is something that I use every single day in my life, whether I'm choosing water over soda, a shirt over a different pair of pants, or something in that similar aspect. It's something that I use every single day. Now, this idea is really extended into a lot of the aspects of my career as an autistic individual. The Rubik's Cube is something that I've learned to, how to solve specific problems that may be challenging for me. And in this way, you can recognize maybe some of the familiar faces in our society that have been successful in this way. Tim Burton, Eminem, and Elon Musk are all very open and accredit a lot of their success to being autistic. They're all very different in terms of the field that they are in. For instance, Tim Burton is a very good movie director, but how does this apply to problem solving? Well, Tim Burton has also been through a lot as an autistic individual and has succeeded in very different aspects in the film industry. Eminem is a well-known rapper and worldwide phenomenon known for his songs. He's in a completely different industry that has to break down marketing, music, and other different aspects to be able to publicize his media and have an embrace full impact. Elon Musk is also a worldwide phenomenon known for millions of different projects and ideas that he has done for the community in STEM. I'm often regarded at my school as someone with eccentric ideas. I don't like to keep it plain. I like to create new things, and I want to have a successful project that will develop the future. Having autistic people in the workplace or in the field in general is just something that's very important to have. I believe that by having a successful career as an autistic individual that I'm able to contribute my sort of eccentric ideas to the workplace and environments and wherever I may go. As an example, I once talked with a professor during my first semester that I sat through that was a senior level class because I was interested in it. I was looking over some of the content for his projects, and I saw something that I thought would be a good contribution for the students in terms of a technical aspect in programming. I ended up drafting up a report and giving it to him, and he was not very fond of it. He didn't think the material was applicable to the terms of the course. And so I said, "Have you ever tried pistachio ice cream?" And he says, "What?" "Have you ever tried pistachio ice cream?" He said, "No." I said, "Do you like pistachio ice cream?" He says, "Probably not." And so I respond, "How do you know if you do or do not like pistachio ice cream if you've never tried it before?" He was shocked. It's the same similar aspect in terms of my eccentric ideas that I produce and that I'm able to present to people that they are unsure about it. And I think you just need to be able to give it a try before you have an opinion on it. And now I'm proud to say that this sort of proposal and report that I submitted is now included in a sub-lecture for the course. As an autistic individual, it's very hard to go about a career, especially developing throughout a sort of area where I'm able to express my ideas in a specific way. But I've learned that growing up that these sort of ideas that I'm able to, commit to sort of projects and stuff like that is what has allowed me to succeed. I've had and overcame a lot of different obstacles that have allowed me to succeed in this sort of environment. And if there's one thing that I want you to take away from this presentation, everyone has a mountain to climb, and autism has not been my mountain. It has been an opportunity for victory. Thank you.